All right.
Hi, we're the BookToktors. I'm AK Mulford.
And I'm Ann Kemp, and we're here to help authors on their social media journey. We want to help you build community, have fun, and sell books.
If you want even more social media support and bonus material, join our community at patreon.com/BookToktors. And a very warm welcome to our very first patrons.
We've got a few. I tell you what, we're starting with their handles. They're on TikTok at Elena.Dawn with an E _ author, at Rachel Heron, at Eve Dalloway author, and at Donna Blaber author. Welcome to you guys. Thank you for
Welcome.
joining our Patreon.
We're very excited. And I should say, please excuse all of the Australian background noise. This will be a fun audio. You never know. There might be a kookaburra. We could get all sorts behind me today.
You got an Australian, like, beautiful tropical background, and I'm in Wellington, New Zealand, for anybody that's tuning in. And I've just in my office, and I just realized we've got my dog's collar of shame from his surgery. So maybe I'll put it on later. I don't know.
This is why we're uploading these videos onto YouTube too, so that people can see that, there might be all sorts of creatures behind me at any given point in time. But yes, we've eventually the audio will sound very nice and crisp once I have moved into a house with an office and a desk and all of my stuff has arrived. But we've just moved to Australia, so right now I'm hiding out in the back patio from my husband and children so that I can record this. So this is they say start as you want to continue, and I feel like this
I
is
feel like you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm setting low expectations for the level of hot mess that I bring to everything. So yeah.
Oh my God. It's a good, actually, but our hot messes match because we were really vibing on that same, like, plane when we met. And I love this story, and it's not just because I love us. And also, right, I'm bringing it right into the social media stuff as I'm texting our next guest as well. But the fact that we met on TikTok and lived 5 minutes from each other still blows my mind. And you're now in another country. She left me, you left me here in New Zealand. It's fine.
I abandoned you in New
And
Zealand.
you left me here at the pound with the other authors.
Sorry.
But no, it's like, it's a testimonial to the power of social media. And as much as a fan I am of social media, I have always, like, looked at things, and this also leads into the community that I know you have found on TikTok and I have found on TikTok, because it seemed like it was one of those things that it was like you'd hear about this great thing called, people you would meet on social media and then actually meet offline as well. Like, does that really happen? And it had happened. Like, I have friends from that I'm meeting from TikTok. I have a community. I've met all of these people. And the fact I can point to you and go, and I have one of my bestest friends who I'm now working with and doing things with across this. I just feel like it says so much to what the power of that app can do.
So true. It's the power of TikTok. When I saw in the background of one of your videos, I was like, is that New Zealand? Because we both have American accents. And why would we both live in New Zealand? So we didn't know. And then we met up and it was like instant friendship. And then we found out that we both have a background in helping people create engaging content, social media, community building, all of these things that we use as strategies for our own social media accounts. And we thought, okay, well, we've got to do something with this. So we've got to take this and run with it.
Especially when, like, I've been in the world of social media and marketing. When I sat and thought about it, like, I mean, it goes back into the early 2000s. I started in marketing. And then when social media happened, I know from my end, I was living in Los Angeles and was watching as Facebook happened. I have family on the East Coast. So Facebook is rolling out to colleges, and my nephews are all like, oh, you've got to check out this thing wrong called Facebook. We're still got MySpace at that time. I think Friendster might have still been around. I'm going to the way back machine for these.
This is OG social media.
So like way back in the day, like right before like stones, people would hit stones together to get their point across.
To start their iPhones.
Yeah, right. But it's like the way that it has changed and the things that like the whole dynamic of social media and to see the power that it has. And for authors, I mean, it has just it's moved the needle. And since
Yeah.
2012, I've watched that shift when I came into the publishing industry, 2011, 2012. Twitter was the hot thing to be on. Facebook was still just kind of a spot that, that's where the kids these days were back like us that are older, it's just our hangout spot for people like over a certain age, apparently. But it's neat to see things come and go and to
Yeah.
see how things shake out and what's become popular during like, COVID brought out a popularity for Clubhouse and TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and for me, I was kind of very averse to social media, to be honest, because I mean, my whole background was in face-to-face engagement, right? So, like, if you're face-to-face with someone in person, how can you then get them to, change habits, invest in conservation, join a community, all of these things, but it was all very interpersonal, in person, and then the advent of video-based social media started to really take off. And that's when it was kind of a game changer. Like things like TikTok, it really is face-to-face communication, even though it's you with a screen, you're talking to someone on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's what really took off for me was I was able to take those engagement principles and use them on all of the video-based apps. And now, of course, all social media has, wants to be TikTok. And so they all have their own version of some sort of video-based thing now. But people like talking to other people. They like talking to other faces. And that's not to say that all accounts need to be face-to-face, but there's a real power there that I feel like certain other socials were lacking. So yeah, I definitely feel like that's a huge way to build an audience and connect with a readership when they're able to see you and hear you and interact with you,
There's
that's the power of
it's
social.
a game changer. It really has. Like when I got on, I mean, you were already an OG by the time I dipped my toe into TikTok. And I got in there from a dare, that's running my own social media company. I was adverse to TikTok and I had many opinions about it that when clients came to me, my eyes rolled so hard, I dropped them sometimes, like seriously. And now, like, if you're not on TikTok, who are you? Like, what is wrong with you? It is taken over as of like a few weeks ago. TikTok is where people go to search. They are not
Yeah.
using Google. They're not using Facebook. It's like, remember when Facebook surpassed Google for searches and now TikTok has taken over both.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to see why, because you go on there, you have access to everything and you get entertained in
Yeah.
that commercial that is not even 30 seconds long. You get a couple of seconds of entertainment and
Yeah.
that's where our jobs come in.
And I think there's also a level of sorry, there's very loud birds here. That was I don't know. I think they're called peewees. They're like magpie larks. I've turned into a bit of a birder since I've arrived here. I want to know all of the species. Anyway, I digress. That will happen a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, hang on,
Um,
guys. Put those seatbelts on. This will happen.
yes, yeah, and down the rabbit hole we go.
But we'll
But
come
yes,
back.
with uh, sites like TikTok, there's a level of relatability too. You will find people who you thought I was the only one who felt this way about something. And then you'll find somebody who makes a funny video about something very niche to you and your experience in life. And it's incredibly validating to go, oh, like other people feel this way, other people like these things. And I think for a lot of us as authors, we're probably not chatting with someone in the grocery store aisle about our specific genre or even books in general, and then to be able to find a whole community of people who like the very specific thing that you do and connecting with them and getting to be excited about the same things and going through the same struggles is just incredibly validating to feel seen in whatever kind of bookish niche you're in.
Yeah. In PR, that's the emotional hook. It's that
Mhm.
thing of being in front of somebody with your product, in our case, it's books, and being able to get inside of someone. And I've always told people, like, and for people that are tuning in, just, as a little bit of context, I own my own social media and PR firm, and I've had it. And one of the reasons that I have this business is because I started as an author that was promoting herself on social media, and that was how the business was built. But that's another episode, because this is all
Yeah.
I do not recommend to other people to do, because it took me away from what I really love, which is the writing. But now it's all back together.
Yes.
But with
Well, that's the thing
PR,
is that we also love helping people. We
exactly.
love writing and we love being authors, but we also love helping people. And that's where this started was we saw a need from
Big,
people on social media who had started accounts and were kind of figuring it out and were maybe finding some success and then either hit a wall or were stalling out or were burnt out or were successful and feeling super anxious about it and not starting to second guess everything that they did. And we thought
we
we
can
need to talk
help.
about this. We need
Yeah.
some people to come in and go, it's like you're doing great. And like these are some strategies. Here are some things that you could do to elevate what you're doing. Here's some ways to make it more sustainable,
Yeah.
practical strategies that people could use to get out of the kind of social media rut that they were in. And we just felt like there wasn't a lot around for that kind of advanced level of people on social media, especially on TikTok. We just saw a lot of people who we thought we could really help a lot of people feel more excited and have more fun on socials again instead of feeling like, I mean, don't we all do it? We all get caught up in our heads.
Yes.
Uh, social media is designed to make you anxious, it's designed to stress you out.
And if you're
And so,
already anxious and dealing, like, the world we step outside into is enough, that it's like for all of our little, and it's, oh, I feel for the empaths that are listening to this, because it's just,
yeah.
there's so much happening that hits our receptors every day, and it's a
Mhm.
barrage, and social media is one of those. And that was where I think for you and I both, we were watching when things happened, like with COVID, and I started seeing more people shifting online and into social media and doing all these things. I remember in 2020 just having that thought of like, wow, there's gonna be a lot of people when we're finally out of this that might not, like, there's gonna be stuff going on in their heads. But I did not understand that thought myself until being here now. I've seen my
Yeah.
own self go through moments, but working with the clients and the folks we've coached and people that we have spoken to and with each other, it's
Mhm.
interesting to just see like where it's, yeah, there just needs to be a breath of air in all of it, because I feel like we want to be across all the things. We want to do all the things.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people out there that are begging on saying you need to do these things.
Yeah, you have to, you should do, you need to do. And a lot of it's not true. And yeah, and it's okay to stop and question what those things are and also lean into the things that bring you joy because actually people can feel that and they engage more with the things that make you happy anyway. So there, yeah, I think a lot of this show will be debunking some of the specific tips and tricks on TikTok that are actually not true or not really
And I
accurate
just
for
had like
everyone.
two pop to my mind. I can't wait.
Every day I see ones.
There's
And
like
then I'm like,
a couple.
no, that's not the case. For every piece of advice I hear, it's the same with all things with authorship, I think, where you hear a piece of advice and I can think of 100 successful authors who are doing the exact opposite of that piece of
Yeah,
advice.
yeah.
And so it's all about taking that in and deciding what works for you, what works for your brain, what works for your lifestyle and your schedule and your family, and figuring out how you can take the bits that work for you and leave the advice that doesn't. And I think that in a site that's constantly giving you more information and people talk about the algorithm the way they talk about the weather, you know, it's very hard to kind of figure out what your own personal strategy is beyond the kind of old adage of, post consistently? Like, what's beyond that for you specifically and your own brand and what you like to do? And
Yeah.
that's where we come in to help people. Yeah.
I feel like too, we're going to be peeling the curtain back a little bit too, because a lot of times I see people posting going, I sold books doing this. And
Mhm.
we're not taking into account, we're seeing their numbers and we're trusting in them. And I'm not saying don't trust, but also think about everything with a grain of salt, because we
Mhm.
don't know what promo they had, what they might have done the month before to get them there. Because a lot of times, I know for myself with my strategy, I'm working now to look ahead 30 days to see what I'm doing now, because I know I'll see that flow on. But that happens because of my experience in my job with marketing, that I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing back here to spin it down there. So
Yeah.
and we watch the numbers ebb and flow, but there is some transparency that I think
Mhm.
we're going to be providing, and
Yeah,
I'm excited
definitely.
to do because
And,
we need to talk
you and I have very different strategies when we started on TikTok. You were across several platforms. For me, the first 6 months I launched my books, I was only using TikTok, and I think I had a Facebook page, but it was I never posted on it. It
I'm
was
like,
more
I don't
of
even think you did. I think it was like your
yeah, I
picture
think
and
I
that was
grabbed the handles. I
it.
didn't have any other socials. I just had my website and my TikTok, the only social
Oh
media I was
yeah.
pushing. And, I was making well into six figures, just through TikTok without any ads, any other things, any promos. But then, you do see, like you're saying, these accounts that are like, I have this many followers and I've sold this many books. And to me, I go, that doesn't actually seem like that good of a statistic. They're saying it like they're bragging. And I'm like, it seems like you're missing a lot of people if those are your numbers. And I think that's one thing we'll probably talk about a lot on this show is, are you playing the TikTok game? Or are you playing the author game? Because they're two different games.
They are.
And I think that sometimes people get caught up in how many followers do they have? How many views did a video have?
Yeah.
And forget about how many people subscribed to their newsletter, how many people pre-ordered their book, how many people clicked the link that you wanted them to click, those sorts of things.
Randy
Um
hit the nail on
and
the head. People,
yeah.
because like we wrapping it right back around. Social media is designed to do that. It wants you to be on there and to become a, dare I say it, influencer.
Yeah.
And it's trying to keep you on the apps, and
Yeah.
it's gaming you. All the
Mhm.
apps are made to game you, not just TikTok.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
made to game you. And I love being able to say that because I worked on two social media platforms, which I will be glad to deep dive into a little bit later
Yeah.
in the podcast. And I've seen that back end and know what happens. I know
Mhm.
how algorithms work, and it's like it's a tight lid is kept on it, is how algorithms work.
And then I come in with the psychology of why they work on people and their mindset and what factors are at play that are pulling people in. And also, sorry, again, very loud bird. It sounds like an alarm, but it's a bird. But but also the way that it's designed to manipulate you and how it can affect your mindset and mentality and your well-being even after you've stepped off of those platforms. And so that's something we're going to talk about a lot. And I think that, we always say like, don't go into social media without a buddy, like always put your helmet on before you
It's a
start.
dangerous neighborhood. Do not
Yeah.
live alone. That's the thing.
Make
Um,
sure that you have a buddy system. And that's one of the things that we do through our Patreon too, is that we have our Facebook group for our patrons and we do a weekly health check where we check up on each other. And that's something I'm really excited about because I feel like everyone who uses social media should do that, should
I
say, how are you doing? Oh, I posted this video and it didn't do well. And then I was grumpy all day, or I was stressed about that I was, all I could think about was how to make that better, or these things that we don't think about, and we also feel kind of like weird or guilty or uncomfortable sharing with other people about. And I feel like that's really something that we need to talk about more: mindset
yeah.
and mental health and social media. So that's one of the things we do. Should we tell people some of the other things that we have on our Patreon and some of the things we have
Yes.
coming?
Yes, we should. We should.
We've got several tiers. So we have tiers for just about anything that people are looking for, from, just joining the Facebook community to, we do monthly Q&A lives. We do extra bonus podcast episodes where we deep dive into things like duets and stitches or hashtags, or, very specific strategies, and kind of get into the micro with all of that. And also we have a level where we do one-on-one coaching as well, for people who really want like the, let's do a full facelift and look at what you're doing and how we can tweak these posts and
Yeah.
all. Yeah. So there's something for everyone there. And I'm really excited about that.
We got a whole
Already just connecting with our first 5 patrons,
yes.
has been really lovely. And we also have some courses coming
Yes,
soon.
we have a fantastic advanced TikTok class that we're going to be putting out. We are working on that now. But then there's also our social media mindset for you to become sustainable as an author that we're working on as well. And there will be a lot of updates. I think you'll be hearing about that as we're going through the podcast and these episodes, because we're working on both of these at the moment. And we will have some type of a beginner's workshop that we're going to offer. Allie and I have talked about this, and one of the things we both agree is there are a lot of wonderful people out there teaching beginners TikTok. In fact, we have both done it as well. And
doing a great job.
they're
Yeah.
doing great. There's so many wonderful people you can go to. We will still offer the class that we have taught 2 authors here, did a presentation and taught a bunch of authors here in New Zealand. But we really want to focus on that advance, and especially the social mindset and the mindset of everything and being sustainable. Because again, are you in it for the social media? Are you an author? We want to keep you on the path that you want to be on. And to me, it's like, come on, authors, let's do this.
That's something I'm always telling people, is you can't win TikTok. There is no like level 30 where you've summited the mountain and then you're done and then you never have to post again. And like you can't, it's not a game that you win. It's something that you show up every day and you enjoy the journey of creating content. And so if you have that mindset of like, I must get to an end point, I must win, you're going to start to really like hurt yourself mentally and hurt your mental health. And so for me, it's all about how can we make this sustainable? How can we make this fun? How do we batch things so you only use it once a week? Like what do you need to do? What strategies do you need to set up so that you can show up for the long run? Because the people who are the most successful are the ones who keep showing up. And a lot of people will show up for 6 months or a year, and then they go, this isn't where I want to be, or like, I'm struggling. I'm not getting the response I used to get. I've done the things that people told me to do.
Yeah.
And that's where we come in and go, okay, let's fix this,
You hit the wall, you're burned out. Let's look at it differently.
And sometimes the right answer is to take a break and step away, and there's no shame in that. But there's also a lot of people who want to keep showing up or feel like they need to in order to sustain their business. And that's where we're here to help people find more joy in their posting, have some really practical tweaks to get more engagement, get more views, get more people clicking on their books. So that's what I'm really excited about, is helping, it's the best feeling. Anna and I have already helped a lot of people in our workshops and, through Patreon and just friends, and seeing that like spark light up in them again, where they're having fun and enjoying it and seeing the needle move. And like, that's the best thing in the world, so I'm very excited to be doing more of that.
It's the good stuff. But you know what? We had better sign off now, because
this was just the intro. Welcome to the podcast. Each episode will be a lot more reined in than this one. This was kind of this is what we're doing. But
We're
each future
here.
episode will be a lot more specific to some practical strategy or thing that we're discussing.
Yeah.
And we're also going to do some deep dives into our own accounts
Oh,
and
are we?
critique each other's videos and talk about what the other one could be doing better and like how they could redo it. And so I'm looking forward to that too, because I think some people don't want, to scrutinize their own videos. So we're going to be
And
the
I'm
one,
all for it. I'm like, let's
yeah,
do
hacking
it.
into each other's. Yeah.
Let's take a look at this. How
Let's do
can I
it.
make it better? Because yeah, you need to do that. But this was awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us and coming and listening to us talk
Yeah.
about
Welcome to the
BookToktors
show.
thingies. Yeah, welcome to the show. And you know what? Come back and listen to us. We'll be right back here next week with another episode.
Yeah. See
So
you
come
then.
back and we'll see you for your appointment. It'll be time for another checkup. See you in a week.
Bye.
Bye.